In a world full of conventional Hollywood cliches and recurring lackluster sequels, one critic has seen it all, who can provide you with all the movie news, opinions, and reviews that could very well save humanity as we know it. This is Libby's Movie Hunt. And now, your host, Libby Hunt.
Host of Libby's Movie Hunt, here with Kevin E. and Zach.
Hey, Libby, it's great to be here with you.
Hey.
Welcome, Zach. This is so much fun to film from the State Fair of Texas.
Yeah, you know, it is nice every once in a while to get out of the office. Not that I don't miss the comfy studio back. It's
well,
nice
sure.
to be out here I can get a cold beverage.
Oh, yeah, it's nice. Get some
enjoy
fresh
some
air.
fried foods.
I know.
Yeah.
I just arrived. They've filmed down here a couple of times and have tried all the fried stuff, so I'm ready to get a fried Snicker.
See, you keep
fried
talking about
Snickers.
the fried Snickers, and
I've
now
been pointing
I
in that
have to
direction.
find one. You found the direction.
Yes.
Were
Did
they-
you really? Ooh,
I heard
man.
the best thing is the fried Oreo.
And with the fried Oreos, you can pick which kind you want. You can have regular, double stuff. They have them all. So
Oh
that's,
my gosh, a double stuff.
I heard they have cotton
possibilities are
candy
endless.
Oreos. Yeah, they got all kinds of Oreos.
Oh, and I want the chicken pot pie, fried chicken pot pie. The
That's-
Ooh, yeah.
That's
Right.
my favorite so far that I've
Okay,
had this
where
year.
do I find that?
Right over there.
Okay, I'll be going there after this. But we are filming today from the dock instead of outside by Big Tex because it's so windy.
We were supposed to be out there, but the wind was so... I mean, all you would be able to hear is wind right now if we had stayed over there. So we came over here where Christy is always very accommodating to let us set up here at the dock.
Thank y'all. Thank you, State Fair of Texas, for having us. This is such a treat to be here on such a beautiful day.
A treat
And it's the
indeed.
last weekend of the State Fair. But we'll talk more about the State Fair in a minute. And in a little bit, we're going to ask Carissa to come over and talk to us about the Taylor Swift exhibit here at the Hall of State. So that'll be fun. But first, okay, let's talk about movies.
Yeah, see, we're both movie experts. We're not both Taylor Swift experts.
That's
so I can talk with you all movie stuff.
I'm a ginormous Taylor Swift fan. I've been to all her concerts. So you should become a Taylor Swift fan.
I'm working on it. You know,
Yeah.
I'm entertaining the idea a little bit.
I know. She's so good. Okay, I went to see Jack Reacher this week with Tom Cruise.
Yes, I saw the first one.
And
Right, the sequel.
It's based on the Lee Child novels, and my rating system, as you know, is Oscar-worthy, popcorn-worthy, half popped, a bag full of kernels.
And if I may ask, what
Yeah.
would you give the first Jack Reacher?
I'd give it popcorn-worthy.
Yeah, me too.
Did you like it?
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I don't like it as much as his Mission Impossible outings, but I still liked it.
Well, this one is half popped. If to maybe, I'd say half pop. I wouldn't say bag full of kernels, but are you interested in seeing it, Zach?
You know, I want to. I saw the first one, and it wasn't bad. It didn't blow my socks off. It wasn't a blockbuster. I honestly, it kind of reminded me of John Wick. It's a little low budget, but good. I expected something like Mission Impossible. Didn't quite get it, but still a good movie. And
Well,
it's good
that's-
Tom Cruise, and I love that guy.
Well, I do. Tom Cruise never disappoint me. I'm such a huge fan of his. I love
Definitely.
him. But this one, I was really disappointed. I mean, Tom Cruise, it was kind of low quality. And you know who was the director is Edward Zwick. who-
Really?
You know, his first film was, do y'all remember About Last Night? It was his first film with Demi Moore and Rob Lowe.
Oddly enough, I do not
Okay,
remember
then
that.
Yeah, I don't recall.
I missed that
Edward Zwick did Glory, won an Academy Award.
Oh, yeah, with,
Legends
Matthew
of the
Broderick.
Fall, Blood Diamond, Traffic, Shakespeare in Love, Academy Award winning. But why was this film so low quality? I'm confused. It's like was one of, well, as we say, almost a made-for-TV kind of movie.
It shocks me. It's one of those situations where when you put a big-time director in there and you're like, oh, this is guaranteed to be great, and it kind of disappoints. The same way, after Skyfall, everybody was like, oh, Sam Mendes made the best Bond film of all time, and then they got him in there to do Spectre, and they're like, oh, well, it's Sam Mendes, it'll be great, and it just wasn't quite as good.
I know, it's so surprising.
Sometimes I think you just get a combination of actor, directors, whatever the screenwriter, and it just all doesn't work properly, and I think that's kind of what happened with this one.
They can't all be winners.
Well, Tom Cruise really is the best part of this film. His co-stars were not that great. The girl that played his supposed daughter was not a very good actress. It just was, the whole deal was kind of corny. He's a rogue investigator, that goes rogue and tries to save his unit. They've been falsely accused of something, and then he gets in this deal with bad characters and, tries to save the day. But it's just corny.
And it is kind of a bummer because nobody does the 50-year-old action star better than Tom Cruise. I mean, this was kind of started by Liam Neeson with the Taken films, but
Which we love.
Yeah, I love Liam Neeson, but Liam Neeson was a 50-year-old action star who seemed like a 50-year-old action star. You have Tom Cruise, who's a 50-year-old action star who still feels like he's 40. I mean, he looks and is as agile and as in shape as he was when I saw the first Mission Impossible film.
Right.
So, and he's great at those kind of roles. So
He's
that's
great.
That's a bummer that it's half pop.
I think he needs to leave this franchise behind.
Yes, abandon the Jack
There's-
Reacher and
And
just stick
move
with
on.
Mission
Move on
Impossible.
to
It's such a
Impossible.
bummer. You know, he wanted it to be almost like Matt Damon and Jason Bourne. He wanted it to be like this
Yeah.
grandeur role that he continues to film. It's like Mission Impossible.
But he's already Ethan Hunt. He
I
doesn't
know,
have
he
to be
doesn't
Jack
need
Reacher.
one. Yeah, he's all right.
You need to let it go. You know, there's nothing terrible about this film, but it fails everyone involved, I'd say, is kind of my summation of the film. So, half
Bummer.
pop.
I need a sound effect to play for half pops whenever we
Okay,
have one.
that'd be good.
In the future, I'll make that happen.
And the other movie I saw was Kevin Hart, What Now? And are you interested in seeing that at all?
I was a little bit. I was intrigued. I sometimes like films like that. I really liked, for an example, Vince Vaughn's Wild West Comedy Show. I thought was really good.
Oh, I didn't see that. I would have liked that.
Yeah, but I don't know. Kevin Hart's not a guy that I find particularly funny.
Well, see, I think he's hysterical, and he did this record-setting, sold-out performance. It was filmed in front of more than 50,000 people in
Wow.
Philadelphia at their football stadium, it's never been done to have a comedian fill a football stadium. I mean, it's kind of
That's
cool.
pretty impressive.
But
Yeah.
what they did wrong, I think he was ill-advised. He used giant screen visuals in his, dialogue and his stand-up, and it was just unnecessary because his comedy stood on its own. You know?
Typically, good stand-up doesn't require like
They
visuals
didn't
or anything.
need
You know, they
and-
just they deliver it, and that's where the laughs come
Like
from.
Eddie Murphy Raw, no visuals.
That was
I
so
still
good.
find it
Right,
hilarious.
it's one guy on a stage. I mean, that's
love
it.
But Kevin Hart, at the beginning, he does this little scenario with Halle Berry and Ed Helm in this casino, and then it leads into his stand-up, and it was the silliest thing I've ever seen.
See, that's what I didn't know. Is it a
No.
documentary? Is it a narrative? Is it a
Well, he
fiction?
did like a little movie at the beginning, kind of like he's in a casino and about to go on, the big stage. But it was so silly. It was unnecessary.
Huh.
But I would give it. There aren't many comedians that I'd give it popcorn worthy just if you're a Kevin Hart fan.
Are there consistent laughs throughout?
Consistent laughs, and it wasn't too crude, which I appreciated because some of those comedians are just gross.
Does it have an
Right.
R rating?
Yes.
It's not a hard R though.
No, it's not a
too
hard R
much.
by any
Gotcha.
means. I mean, it's like bathroom humor and a couple of, bad words.
Of course.
No,
but
sure.
otherwise, popcorn worthy.
All right.
So, we're gonna
All right,
take a
something to
break?
go see, I suppose.
Yeah, you should see it.
Yeah.
Because there aren't many. I mean, there was Eddie Murphy's Raw, and what else?
Eddie Murphy also did Delirious, which I'm a huge fan of.
Well, which one is the one he had on all the purple in the 80s
The
or
purple
90s?
is Eddie Murphy Raw.
Okay, I love that. But
That's
that
my
was
personal
It's
favorite.
one of the most famous stand-up
Wearing
bits
the
ever.
leather
yeah.
rattlesnake skin
Uh-huh.
suit.
very
yeah.
inappropriate language, but I loved it.
Very.
Right.
And
It
I,
was the first time I'd seen something, a film, done that way.
and it was extremely crude at the time. And I was probably like 13 when I saw that. That blew me away. I just happened to catch it on like an HBO thing. But I also enjoyed both of the Dave Chappelle.
they're
Killing Them
great.
Softly, and I can't remember the name of the other one, the one that I like better.
Oh, I don't remember.
Well,
Golly,
both Dave
I mean,
Chappelle
yeah.
comedy. Anyway, Zach's telling us we got to take a break.
Okay,
so-
we'll take a break. We'll be right back after the break with Libby's Movie Hunt at the State Fair of Texas.
This is Libby's Movie Hunt on RNCN.
Welcome back to Libby's Hunt. I'm your host, Libby Hunt, along with Kevin E. and Zach.
Hello, hello.
Hey,
Hi, we're here at the State Fair of Texas. We're stationed at the dock today because it's a windy day
It is-
outside.
It's a
Windy
little
day.
too windy to do it outdoors, which is a bummer because the weather is awesome.
It's so awesome, and it's so fun to see all the happenings. But we're having a lot of fun. Last weekend at the State Fair, get down here and ride some rides, spend some money, eat some fried
bad
food. Okay, well, so we were talking about Jack Reacher, the movie, which I gave half popped rating, and then Kevin Hart, What Now? I gave a possible, popcorn, mildly popcorn worthy.
Kevin Hart worth seeing. Tom
Jack
Cruise,
Reacher,
stay home
no,
this time.
stay home, stick with your Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah.
But okay, we're going to get some other things in a minute. But first, since Halloween is approaching, we want to talk about scary movies. And Kevin E. is a huge horror fan.
I am. I try to watch a
Fan of
horror
movies?
film every single day during the month
Which
of
I
October.
think is hysterical. Which literally, Kevin, I think it's so funny that we're doing the show together because I've done that for years. I didn't mean to, but on
Never miss a
AMC
day.
or one of
Yeah.
those, I would make a habit of watching one every night. And I'm having a hard time finding good ones on cable.
I'm so glad you brought that up
You-
because this is something I'm going to gripe on a little bit.
Right.
AMC Fear Fest used to be like my
AMC Fears,
favorite
that's
thing.
what I'm talking about.
I watched Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, marathons. Now I swear every day all they're playing is back-to-back The Walking Dead. I'm like,
Right.
that's not
That's
AMC.
cheating.
No, we want
yeah.
to see the AMC Fear Fest.
Don't cram The Walking Dead
Right.
down my throat.
Yeah,
Show me some.
I don't want television level horror, okay? Like, I want the movies.
Yeah,
That's
right.
what I'm here for.
I find
yeah.
myself paying to see like Wes Craven's new Nightmare, and I'm like, usually this is on 16 times throughout
Right.
the month of October. So
I know.
it's been a big letdown.
But first of all, since we're talking about scary movies, we're going to go, let's talk about each of our favorite scariest movie. What's your favorite?
Okay,
You may have more than one, knowing you.
I always do that. I always have more than one. Okay, my favorite horror film of all time
Okay.
is because it's so well rounded and so well made. Is Halloween, the original Halloween, because slasher is my favorite genre, and it's kind of pioneered that. I mean, people will say, oh, there was Psycho, there was Peeping Tom, people had done the killer POV and the slasher idea before, and I'm like, yeah, but this is like defining the slasher genre.
Right.
And even today, if I'm watching it at home by myself with the lights off, it still creeps me out.
Sure.
So
It-
I'm like, that has to make it historic, the best horror film ever.
It was definitely one of the scariest. Like, I saw it as a teenager and being very scared driving home that night.
And it's so simple, and
Yeah.
there's really no blood and no gore, but it's still really, really scary. People are
It's
like, oh,
really
that's just
scary.
a gory slasher film. And it's like, no, if you actually pay attention, there's hardly any blood or gore in that
Hard to
film.
believe.
Yeah.
And shortly after that came out were Friday the 13th, and then what was the other big series?
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Which
yeah,
is more
that
psychological,
first one
but
was scary to me too.
that's a good one.
When
Johnny Depp's first
Depp
movie.
sunk into
Yeah.
his bed, like I
Oh,
forever
right
was-
at the end, yeah.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, seeing
Okay,
Johnny Depp
do you
being
have a
eaten by his
favorite
bed.
horror film?
I do.
forget.
Mine is also a John Carpenter film, The Thing.
Oh, that's
John
a good
yes.
one.
Carpenter's The Thing. And the reason is because I didn't actually see it up until probably my first year of college. I had a coworker who was telling me, you got to check out this movie, The Thing. And I was like, come on, it was made like in the 70s. How cool could it be? He's like, no, it holds up. I'm like, it was made, it doesn't hold up. He's like, you got to watch it. It holds up. It totally holds up.
But would
the
you
first time
cons-
you watch The Thing, like, it's still spooky.
And the blood and gore thing does not apply to the thing.
No, no,
It
no,
is
no, no.
loaded
It's the
with
exact
blood
But
and
do you
gore.
Yeah.
consider that a horror film?
you know, it's more. It's honestly probably like a thriller, but I think it's got enough
Science
horror.
fiction,
Sci-fi,
thriller,
but-
psychological.
You don't think it's a horror film?
Oh, I'd say it's definitely a horror
Really?
film, but it's sci-fi too. But man, that movie scared me to death when I was a kid.
That's what. That's
Like,
why. Like, it spooked me. That's why I consider it a
Well,
horror.
and
You're
the
right. It's more
original-
sci-fi than anything else. But I don't know. There's something
it's
about
one of
it.
the strangest concepts too, like I've ever heard of.
It's
While
true.
you're watching, it's like anyone could be the killer at any time.
And
Yep.
they're in the Antarctic, right?
Yeah,
I liked the original The Thing. But
you
this
like
I
the thing
haven't
from another
seen, I
world, the
should.
black and white.
But this one, The Thing, is listed as one of the 100 most influential films in American history.
Yeah.
Which is interesting
Which
that
is
that's
funny,
listed.
Because I'm pretty sure when it came out, it didn't do all that well at the box
no,
office.
and one
Kurt
thing-
Russell?
it kind of tanked.
One
People were
thing
like,
that,
"Nope, that's lame." And then over time, people have come to appreciate it for what it is.
horror films were never really recognized for special effects. That's not really, except but the thing is like most recognized and influential, I think, in its practical effects use. There's
Absolutely.
no CG or anything like that, and it's
Yeah.
really over the top, and there's no computer graphics at all. So I
And
think
you have to understand these guys love science fiction movies.
that's
too.
also true.
Yes, Star Trek, Star Wars. Yeah, count us in.
The scariest, to me, it's not my favorite, but the scariest horror film of all time is The Exorcist. The original with Linda Blair.
Yeah,
You make
I
a good
mean,
argument for
sure.
scariest ever.
Priests and
Hairs on the
pea
back of
soup.
your
What's
neck.
not to love?
Well, anything that has demons, that just scares me. And Rosemary's Baby with Mia Farrow,
Good one.
very,
Definitely
very scary.
ultra creepy.
But if I had to pick a favorite scary movie, I would say The Shining, which is another classic with Jack
Definitely.
Oh,
Nicholson.
Stanley Kubrick.
I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Who doesn't
Probably
love
one
it?
of the
I mean,
best
yeah.
films of our time.
It gets
Yes.
a little confusing at the end, but it almost honestly kind of plays into it. In a
Well,
way.
that's what's good. It almost
Yeah.
feels like it's driven you crazy by the end of it.
Exactly.
You're so confused. But yeah, that's,
You start to ask, like, who let Jack Nicholson out of the freezer? You know, like, how did he get out? What's
Yeah.
with the dog in the suit? You know, like, you don't really get answers, and it's kind of oddly
Okay, y'all
more
got,
scary because of that.
You've got to rent. There's a movie, and I cannot think of the name of it. We'll have to about all Kubrick's movies and how they have. And no, it's really about The Shining and how about The Shining and how it has all this. Like, they say if you play a record backwards, it says certain things.
right,
Hidden
right.
Well,
messages.
you play hidden messages in The Shining. Like after you see this movie, there's tomato soup cans all over, or there. Kubrick was supposed to
Is this
fake,
is this like a documentary?
A documentary.
It's
Kubrick-
called Room 238
Room
or 237, I think.
Room 237.
That's
where,
it. Yeah.
Okay. It is highly recommended,
It's a
y'all.
great little
Because you will
documentary.
see
Is it on
this
Netflix?
and you'll go,
It used to be. I don't think it is anymore, but it was on Netflix for a while. You should check it out.
I went to that on Mockingbird, that place where you can rent old films, and rented it there because I had to see it. It was so fascinating. But, supposedly Kubrick is the one that faked the landing on the moon.
Right.
There's that
Oh, right, of
conspiracy.
course.
So all throughout The Shining, you see things about Apollo 13 in it. You see things that are all these hidden messages. It's really good.
Subliminal Easter eggs relating
yes.
to
Yes.
the moon landing.
So there are some, and right now I've told y'all at the Angelica they're doing Hitchtober, which is Hitchcock movies the whole month of October, and I am going to see Dial M for Murder tonight.
Oh, that's a
Ooh.
great
and
one.
you get to sit outside. It's fun.
Really?
What are the ones they have? They have like Psycho, Frenzy, Rear Window.
Next week I think is Psycho. They have ones you really haven't seen, like The Man Who Knew Too Much, and
Oh, that's a good one too.
different.
Yeah.
What I can't remember what last week was. And then Studio Movie Grill is showing scary films, and actually they're showing The Exorcist Monday night. This past Monday night I went to see. I'm seeing so many movies lately I can't think what I went to see. It'll come to me.
I feel like The Exorcist seeing it in the theater would be ultra creepy.
Really?
I think I had an
I've never
advantage.
seen it at the
I didn't see it till I was much older, like in my 20s, and watching it at home. And I feel like under different circumstances,
Right.
that's a film that would
I
absolutely
have to see it with
terrify
somebody
me.
in the room. That's how much it scares
It
me.
holds up really well.
It's so good.
All of it still feels really real.
But really, I went to see something Monday night, and now I can't think of what it is. That is sad.
It happens.
We can't all see as many films as
I'm
usual.
seeing
We
like
try,
3 and
but
4 films a week now. I mean, I always have seen a lot of films, but seen a lot. So tonight I'm going to see the Alfred Hitchcock. Okay, we're going to take a break in a
All
minute.
All right. Yeah.
and when
It's
we
already
come
that
back,
time.
we're going to have Carissa from the State Fair of Texas come tell us about the Taylor Swift exhibit at the Hall of State, and we'll walk y'all through it later too. That's going to be another segment. Okay, we'll be back right after the break.
This is Libby's Movie Hunt on RNCN.
Hello, welcome back. I'm Libby Hunt with Libby's Movie Hunt with Kevin E. and Zach.
Hey,
And we are at the State Fair of Texas doing a little segment on movies and talking about the State Fair. And hopefully we're going to eat some good junk in a minute. But joining us now is cute Carissa. She is VP of Public Relations here at the State Fair of Texas. And she is going to tell us about the Taylor Swift exhibit. Welcome,
Libby.
Carissa.
Thanks for having me.
So, okay, first of all, I kind of looked up today about the Hall of State. It has been here since 1936. It's one of the first kind of Art Deco buildings, and supposedly $1 million was spent at the time in 1936 when it was built. So it's kind of cool.
yeah, it's in one of the original buildings that was built out here for the Texas Centennial Exposition. The fair, we're actually in our 130th year this year.
Neat.
So we started back here in Fair Park in 1886, and so then really Fair Park got put on the map because of the Texas
So the
Centennial.
fair
back then.
started in 1886.
Yes,
Wow.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. So the different exhibits you have, like right now, do you just have the Taylor Swift exhibit, or are there other things in there?
We do have other things in there. We have actually 4 other exhibits that are focused on Texas. So you can go and see ones like Six Nations Over Texas, which talks about the different flags that have flown over the state. Then you have ones that's Ways of the West, and that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
And then one Vaquero, Genesis of a Texas Cowboy.
Oh,
and so it's
fun.
really looking at how the life of a cowboy was back in the day.
How neat. Well,
Yeah.
okay, I was talking to you briefly on the phone today, and I tell our listeners about how y'all got the Taylor Swift exhibit, how
Yeah.
Taylor Swift's mom came to town when Taylor was here.
Yeah, so last year during the 2015 fair, Taylor Swift had a concert out at AT&T Stadium. And so we received a call from her publicist saying that Taylor Swift's mom, Andrea, wanted to come out and bring some friends to the fair.
Yeah.
And would we be willing to take her around? Because she's very recognizable, and so we needed to kind of get her through the grounds without...
Does she look like Taylor?
No, but I guess you can definitely tell that they're related,
Yes.
but she's kind of become a star on her own through her battle with cancer and everything, and Taylor's
right.
been very open about all of it.
Oh.
And so, Andrea is her name, and she had actually presented Taylor with one of the big awards at the AMAs that were out here at Texas or at AT&T Stadium.
yes.
And so it's really kind of put her on the map as well.
Cool.
So Mitchell and I took them around one day, and after we went through the Hall of State and some different things out here, Andrea just asked, well, how do we choose our exhibits, and would we ever be interested in something maybe Taylor Swift originated. And so
And you're like, hello, yes.
thinking of, she's one of the biggest superstars in the world, and we always are looking for new and innovative things that we can bring to our fairgoers here at the State Fair of Texas.
Well, I mean, I've heard a lot about, the State Fair fun things, and to me that really stood out as a cool thing for everybody to come see.
Yeah, exactly. And
So-
it really also will bring and has brought a younger demographic into the beautiful Hall of State that we were just talking
When
about.
originally, I think Hall of State was built for that reason, to bring a younger demographic in, which I thought was kind of interesting, and kind of my reading about the history of it. So she's done this exhibit other places, not many other places, though, right?
No, the Grammy Museum in LA was the most recent. And this is actually completely customized for us, though, here at the State Fair of
cool.
Texas.
I cannot wait to see it.
I know. Taylor Swift, her mom, Andrea, and her management team hand chose every single item that's out here in our exhibit.
Oh, and
so as you walk through,
is it her clothing and her awards?
Yeah, you have a lot of memorabilia from clothing, from music videos, from red carpets. There's some instruments in there, some handwritten lyrics,
Oh, cool.
and a lot of her awards that she's won over the years. Because it's amazing to think what she's been able to accomplish in such a short period of time.
So where? Tell me again where else it's been, her exhibit. So it's just her third time to do it?
The only one I'm aware of is at the Grammy Museum.
Right, one other, right.
In LA.
So
Yeah,
this
and it
is-
was actually a record-breaking crowd, and it sounds like I spoke to the Hall of State last night, and it sounds like this could be one of their top exhibits of all time.
No, here, I know. It's kind of a coup for y'all to get it.
Yeah.
Like, how many people... I mean, you're probably one of your top 3 exhibits you've ever had, wouldn't you say?
I would think so, yeah. One of the biggest ones, if not the biggest, has been the Bonnie and Clyde exhibit that's been in Hall of State. That was a huge attractor.
I know why. That was they're just have a cult following.
They
I
really
know,
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have
and,
been neat.
and-
I would have liked to have seen that.
Yeah, they're estimating that it could be more than 200,000 people who have come through the
Wow.
exhibit during the 24-day run of the fair.
And do you find that people that come through Taylor Swift exhibit are younger or older or all ages?
They've said that it really has ranged from all different ages. I think she has such a unique and diverse fan base.
She does.
From her starting in country to then crossing over to more mainstream. I think that she's really she appeals to a larger audience. Plus, a lot of I've heard some grandparents that have been out here walking around and said I wanted to come see this so I could brag to my grandkids about being here.
Well, I'm a huge Taylor Swift fan, and I went to her first concert with my girls because they wanted to go, and now I've surpassed them and become a way huge Taylor Swift fan. I remember going to her concert, and have you been to her concert?
I have, yeah.
She stands up, and it's still to this day, and she puts her hand on her heart. Have y'all been to a T Swift concert?
I can't
a
say
T
that I have.
Swizzle. Well,
Not
T
yet,
Swizzle.
anyway.
She goes out there and she puts her hand on her heart. She looks up at the crowd, and it's so genuine. And so it's like, thank y'all. I can't believe that y'all are here for me. And she's really genuine. And y'all, I've seen her 4 or 5 times. I cry every time.
Oh, wow.
Every time. It's just tears. My girls are like, are you really crying? But she's just so sweet. And what I love about her, she just says a good message for young women.
Yeah, I
Or
think
people
she's a
in
good
general.
role
She has a
model.
good. I mean, she has a lot of breakups, but is she still on with the guy she's dating now? Do we know?
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
last I heard she was with the guy from the Avengers movies who plays
it's
Loki.
it's not the European guy anymore. Oh, I would thought
Tom Hiddleston.
Tom
They're not
Hiddleston.
together anymore.
No?
It's over?
They already
Dang.
ended.
That was short-lived.
So we'll be seeing a new album soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, I knew.
If Tom Hiddleston becomes the next James Bond, she's going to regret that.
I know.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's going to be fun. I'd love to see some of her costumes.
Yeah, her mom actually came back a few days before the fair and walked through the exhibit to get to see it.
Oh, good.
And I walked through it with her, and she definitely got a little choked up.
She loved
walking
it.
through and seeing
Yeah.
it all. And there's clothes and items from Taylor's childhood too
Oh.
that Andrea hand selected to be in this exhibit. So it was, I think she got a little emotional walking through. So it means a lot
That's
that
so
they
sweet.
put so much effort into it being out here.
Well, I heard Taylor Swift really has her hand in everything she does, from
Yes.
her line of clothing or makeup or whatever she's involved into. I mean, it's amazing. She's really kind of a powerhouse. She's brilliant, I think.
Yeah.
I
and
love a
her-
smart woman that does well. I'm really proud of her.
Yeah. Her team was pretty amazing. to
But
work
she
with.
hasn't been out to see it, but her mom has, so that's
no,
good.
I keep questioning because she's going to be in Austin
Yeah.
here tomorrow, I think.
Ooh.
Our very
And
first
it's
week,
very
every time.
close.
Okay, you got to get her over
Every
here.
time it was mentioned, everyone's
Taylor
like,
Swift.
"Is Taylor here?" Right now, we're like,
Let's
"No," but
come to the state
We'll
fair.
see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be fun. Thank you for visiting with us, Carissa.
course. Thank
We're going to
you.
walk through the exhibit in a little bit, and we'll also be airing that in another segment. So everybody look for that. So I think we're going to wrap it up. Thanks, State Fair of Texas, for having us. Everybody come out. The fair closes Sunday's the last day.
Yes.
And come enjoy and enjoy our great State Fair of Texas. And we will be back next week for Libby's Movie Hunt.
Thanks, Libby.
Okay.